Everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSi DFS Fantasy Baseball Picks. I am your host, MegaRuler31. Got a nice 10-game slate here on a Tuesday. Actually, it's been kind of nice too because there's been like 4 and 5 game slates at like 6 o'clock. We'll be focusing on the main slate that's going to start at 7:05. So, don't look like any weather issues. So let's just jump into it and get going here. So first game is Baltimore at New York. Wind blowing in 9 miles per hour. Bradish and Cole. Bradish isn't a bad pitcher, but I wouldn't play him against the Yankees. Cole, he's definitely going to be in play. There's a lot of high-priced pitching studs today, so I have him in second here. With strikeouts been down, but he hasn't been giving up as many long balls this year. So I think, maybe he gives up a run or two here, but I think he has a decent game. So definitely in play here. Bat wise, not really interested in Baltimore. They'd be like just a extreme leverage stack against Cole. And the Yankees, again, Bradish and a good bullpen, not super exciting. Next game, we have the Padres and Nationals. Yu Darvish versus Mackenzie Gore. Yu Darvish, I think, is my favorite high-priced pitcher on the slate here. Gives you savings off Cole and Strider, and up against a national team that really, there's a couple of these teams that we've been referred to as like a death by 1,000 cuts. They like single W to death, but not a ton of power. So I think, it's perfectly fine to play Darvish here. I think he'll have a great game. And then Mackenzie Gore on the other side, without, you still have some really good righties in this lineup. He is a strikeout pitcher, and it's actually a revenge game because he was traded here for Juan Soto. So, Machado's still out of the lineup, but Kim will probably move up in the lineup. Still have Tatis, Bogart, Nelson Cruz can still hit a home run or two here and there. So not super interested in Gore. Bat wise, I think San Diego is a decent GPP stack. I don't know why they fell off here. Do they have a team listed twice or something? It's weird. They'd be in the GPP area probably. Let's put them right here. And let's see here. Washington bats, no, definitely just a leverage play. Dodgers and Braves, could be another championship of the National League preview here, but Bobby Miller gets called up with all of the injuries and Dodgers pitching staff. Not great in AAA. I mean, he's a prospect, but I think he needs some more time. So against this Braves lineup, it's a no for me. I mean, if you're playing 150 max, maybe sprinkle him in a little bit just in case an SP2. And then Strider on the other side is expensive, but it is the Dodgers, and they've hit right-handed pitching pretty well. Struggled a little bit last time out, but he is probably the best pitcher in Major League Baseball. So I definitely think, he's in play here. Dodgers bats, it would be the ultimate leverage stack, and I'll definitely have like one stack of them in case Strider does struggle. And then Atlanta on the other side, I really like as my second favorite stack of the night. Mets and Cubs here. Wind blowing in at Wrigley Field about 6 miles per hour, so it kind of helps pitching. Senga and Smiley. Senga, I was down on last time, and because they were against Tampa Bay. A couple of the comments of the video said that he had been rounding into form, which he did. He came out, had 12 strikeouts with wind blowing in against his Cub lineup's not that scary. I think he's definitely in play here, also in the high end at 9.4. Just nice savings off the big three of Darvish, Cole, and Strider. And Smiley on the other side has been solid this season, so I think in the mid range at 7.3 is definitely in play. Mets, GPP, and Cubs just like some cheap, but they only both have 4 totals with wind blowing in here. Good pitching. I'm not really interested in either one tonight. Detroit and Kansas City, no total because Lynch is expected to come off the IL and start, but they're not sure, so there's no line. Erod and Lynch is supposedly the pitchers. Erod, I'm definitely interested in the medium range here at 8.8 against a Kansas City team who can have some pop at times, but sometimes are definitely strikeouts, and the lower end of the lineup is nothing exciting. And Lynch on the other side, not interested in against Detroit. So I really like the Detroit righties here. And I think, they're definitely a great cheap stack if you're trying to get Strider and Veerling leading off at like 2.4 is a great price. Bias is usually reasonable at 4.2, Torkinson at 3K, Ibanez if in there at 2.9. So there's some really good cheap pieces there to make your stacks work. Kansas City on the other side, I'm not really interested in unless you're probably paying 150. Houston and Milwaukee, JP France and Ray. France is a great young pitcher and has done well, but he's kind of reversed splits. He struggled with righties. So, and Milwaukee is one of those teams, and it seems like Milwaukee. We saw with San Francisco last night, and McKinley apologizes for telling everybody to play the Minnesota pitcher Ober, because sometimes like a team come out with San Francisco came alive, put up 4 runs, but then nothing after that, and Ober only had like 3. But there are a lot of people out there recommending Burns last night too, and Burns got lit up by Houston. So there's just some of these teams, like I think it's like Milwaukee and in San Francisco, we've seen with the A's every so often, and Washington, where they just come alive every so often and put up a bunch of runs, and that's just baseball. So Milwaukee is not a dangerous team, but they do have potential and some really good right-handed batters that could hurt France here. And they actually have a 4.52 total, which is a little bit higher than I think it should be. And then Ray on the Rie at the other side has been really struggling here. So I really like Houston again tonight. So Houston's probably my fourth favorite stack on slate, and Milwaukee's definitely in play with some cheaper right-handed pieces. Both pitchers, I think, France is in play, but not I like Erod and like Cobb probably better. I have them up there just because the price point 7.7 is not bad in the mid-range. Okay, San Francisco and Minnesota, Alex Cobb and Sonny Gray. I think both pitchers here are definitely in play. Gray would probably be the lowest of the high-end guys that are in the 10 to 9 high 9K range. But again, San Francisco has laid some duds. San Francisco has come alive. They'll throw a lot of lefties out there against him, definitely. And then Cobb on the other side against Minnesota. I mean, they're down a couple people. They don't have Polanco on the lineup, and I think Kepler's out also. There would be a lefty that'd probably be leading off, and Gallo strikes out a lot. So I think there's a definitely opportunity to play both pitchers there. Bat wise, not really interested in either one unless you're looking for like leverage against the pitcher or some cheap pieces. I think it'd be stack or fade. Coors Field, Miami and Colorado here. Perez and Gomber. Perez is a decent young pitcher. You could take a shot against Colorado because sometimes they don't perform even Coors Field. Gomber not been really good here. Miami hasn't been good with since Jazz, but I think I really like the right-handed bats here, and I think they go to town on him because he has struggled recently. It's going to be 75 degrees, good hitting weather. So give me the right-handed bats here in Miami. And Colorado, I think, could be, probably favorite GPP with just 5.3 if Perez and this Miami bullpen struggle. Bello and Griffin Canning for Red Sox and Angels here. Wind blowing out a little bit in Los Angeles. Bello, I think, is in play here. He's in the favorite cheap pitcher here at 6.3. Canning is definitely a no. Love the left-handed bats on Boston. Very excited about them tonight. Probably be playing at least a stack or sprinkling them into some lines. And then Angels, not super interested in other than a GPP, but Monac leading off here 2.9. I think he was like minimum price last night on FanDuel, and really he might have been minimum price on DK, but he had a home run, really kind of saved my night there. So I'm kind of really interested in him there. Final game, we have Oakland and the Mariners, Medina and Gonzalez. Medina's a no. Gonzalez is usually a no, but it's against Oakland. So, I mean, they've hit left-handed pitching pretty well. So, I mean, if you want a YOLO cheap guy, potentially. But, I think Oakland would definitely be in play as a cheap stack against him as lefty with like the right-hander like Reese, Rooker. Aguilar's always hit lefties pretty well. I think they'll probably roll out almost a full right-handed lineup except for Kemp. And then Seattle on their side is probably a really great stack again here. Lefties and righties against Medina because the bullpen's just horrible also. So let's look at some builds and get you on way for today here. So I'm taking Darvish on DK as my favorite pitcher. SP2, I'll probably take Erod or Bello. If you want a double barrel pitcher, I mean, there's ways to do it tonight by, like, if you want to stack like Detroit and Oakland or Milwaukee, like the cheap ones, and it doesn't make you want to throw up. I mean, it actually doesn't look too bad. So just consider that also as a different strategy. Maybe not in cash, but again, I'm going Marlins here. So give me Cooper, Birdie, and I'm sprinkling in Detroit, Baez, Soler, Verling. There's some really good Detroit pieces that make this work really well with the Marlins, and you can get your decent pitching in. FanDuel, Darvish or Cole, can Darvish, can get you up a little bit. You maybe take a one-off and not have to go complete Detroit, Miami stack. But Cole is pretty much where I landed in most of the lines here with a full Miami and a full Detroit stack. And again, it's pretty much just taking righties there straight across the board against the lefty pitchers that they're facing. And then GPP here, Strider. I can get up to, if I take Oakland, the righties, like I said, Algar, like here, Reese, Rooker, and outfield. And then I'm taking the lefties. I want Deaver, give me Yoshi, Duran, or Verdugo, maybe fill another one outfield. E. Valdez should be playing second base, and he's pretty cheap and has some power. And I really like him as left-handed bat. And for SP2, again, I'll probably go Bello since I'm playing Red Sox for the correlation there. GPP for FanDuel, give me Senga. Again, I want to try him and against the Cubs here, coming off the 12K thing in Wrigley Field with wind blowing in. And then give me Milwaukee and Houston stack. Let's just stack up this game here. So give me Contreras at catcher here. I'm taking the righties from Milwaukee, Altuve, Bregman, Adames, Alvarez, and then Tucker, Yelich, Winker, whoever else you want to fill out the outfield with. And then you can take a one-off in utility. So that's what I got for you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Hit me up at MegaRiver31 on Twitter. If you want more information on FSi DFS, it is in the description of the video. And if these videos help you, please help us back. Like the video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't, so you know when our videos are coming out, and share with your friends. So good luck in your contest. Hope you have a great Tuesday, and I'll see you next time.